Yeah, MLB Data Warehouse, where the spreadsheets flow and the takes get spicy. John, Tim, Doc, let's go. Welcome to the warehouse, stat stacked to the ceilings. Exit below's flying, launch angles got a feeling. Tim in the corner with the prospect report, reading fan graphs, blurbs like it's soft core sport. Junior and double A, Tim's losing.
Welcome to the Prospect Warehouse Podcast. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on X at Fantasy Aceball. And we got John Anderson at John PGH, wheeling and dealing, producing the show like a G because I suck at it. So I'm really happy when John is on these podcasts because when I'm trying to host and produce at the same time, it's pretty rickety.
Yeah, ideally I would know this prospect stuff to help you with that, but maybe it's better that just you go through it since you're the author and I work the dials.
Yeah, that works. Well, I mean, you know some of this now. You're learning more and more. You actually made a trade with me, and the MLB Data Warehouse League.
Bad idea.
You acquired prospects from me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took advantage of your desperation. That's always a good thing in life. Find someone desperate and take advantage. I don't know if I took advantage. When Tim is the one sending me prospects, I figure it's probably just the ones he doesn't want, but I started asking for one, and you brought up three names. I said, give me two of them. So I got two, at least. I got two losers instead of one. So it was good. But it was Seth Lugo for Christian Curtis, Pirates AA prospect. He looks really good pitching. And remind me of the second one.
Carson
Milbrandt. Yeah. Marlins guy, right?
That's pretty solid. They're both in AA, so they're both close. I think Christian Curtis is going to be closer. So it's not like you're going to be waiting forever. It's not like you traded for A-ball pitchers here. But yeah, I only had one starting pitcher. Parker Messick was my only starter, and we have an innings minimum in that league. And I just kept failing. I kept failing it because I didn't have enough pitchers. And the funny thing is, John, I had like 7 or 8 starters at the beginning of the year in that league. But thankfully I get Nick Lodolo back this week. So now I have 3 starters between Messick, Seth Lugo, and Nick Lodolo. So I think I can get 30 innings.
Yeah, I had a 12-0 win on you because of that, and I was doing well. And then you convinced the commissioners to change the rules. So then I retroactively lost like a handful of categories, which I think that was the right rule, obviously, because I looked at the scoreboard and it was a 30-team league. And if you don't meet these minimums, which is like impossible if you have multiple injuries, like you just talked about, like you just are going to be an 0-12 every week. So I looked at the scoreboard and there had been a handful of 12-0 walkovers just for that. And it's like, that's not how to run a league. So I wasn't going to complain, but it always hurts to lose the 12-0 retroactively, but
yeah, it's better to not get it in the first place than to like see the points disappear. Yeah. But we'll talk about Christian Curtis real quick. He was a T10 guy earlier in the year.
Well, hold on, because I looked him up. I was like, how much am I getting taken for a ride here? And this guy was like, he was like dead for years. I read something like 2021. He had some crazy injury, and they're like, I don't think he'll ever pitch again, or at least not professionally. So that's probably going to be a problem down the road. But I guess it's a couple of years removed from that, and he's pitching extremely well so far in AA. So it's got good stuff too, I think. So
yeah, 25.7 K minus walk so far this year. And he's 5 pitches too. So he's fun. And then Milbrandt just needs command. Milbrandt has really nasty stuff. For him, it's just a question of command. Like he's for sure a major leaguer. So like whether it's in the pen or in the rotation is where it's going to come down to. But 10% walk rate this year is really good for him, actually. And he has a 21.6 K minus walk rate too in AA as a fresh 22-year-old. So a couple nice pitchers for you to gamble on here for Seth Lugo, who's like 50 years old now.
Yeah, it's, 2 years. Even if the prospects never hit, like Seth Lugo is not going to be someone I'm missing in a couple of years. I could miss him this year because he's pretty valuable in this league where you just need the innings, and he's quality. His innings aren't bad. It's not like he's a stud, but he can pitch. So I'm probably not. I figured I'm not going anywhere this year. My team, I didn't do a good job. Probably will never win that league, but it's been a ride. It's interesting. You just need a lot of free time. You like really need to have free time to win in these dynasty leagues, and that's not something I'm going to have. So I don't expect to win much.
I mean, I would argue that the 16 to like 24 team, probably like 16 to 20 team leagues take a little bit more work than like 30.
Right. I can't do anything now.
Once you get to 30, it's like, okay, there's like barely anyone worth even looking at on the waiver wire. So like really it's all comes down to trades. And like at the beginning of the year, it's like a lot of people don't want to trade because they're still getting into the season. So maybe at the deadline, there's going to be a bunch of trades and usually in like the off season. But during season, it's not like you have to think about fab or like look at who you want to pick up and like, what do you want to offer on a it's like, oh, there might be one guy worth picking up the whole week. So it's not like, you have to do a lot of pickup homework or whatever.
In the drafts a little bit more seriously. I did okay, but that was like we had like a month of drafting the major leagues and the minor leagues. And like, if you mess that up, you're like done because you can make trades and stuff like that. But anyway,
for sure. A couple pieces of news before we jump into the T10 here. We have Bryce Eldridge, who made the top 15, getting the call.
Yeah.
Coming back to the San Francisco Giants. Hit 500 last week with 3 home runs, Bryce Eldridge. So we have Bryce Eldridge coming back to the show. And then besides that, we had your boy, Edward Florentino, went up to high A and hit a bomb like right off the bat. How are you feeling about Florentino?
It's exciting. Yeah, he was the big F score guy, number 1 or number 2, number 1 overall in a small sample. So you're like, oh, maybe that was just kind of a lucky couple months. But he's right back at it. He had an injury to start the year slow, so that's probably why you haven't heard his name so far. But gets from I kind of already thought he was in high A. So I don't know. Can he get to double A this year? Could we see him? I guess not next year. Probably 2028 would be the target. But looks real good.
Yeah. Well, I guess Connor Griffin did it. So why not Florentino if he's hitting just as well?
Yeah.
Number 10. Let's get to the T10. Yeah. T10, number 10, AJ Ewing getting a promotion to AAA. There's some speculation that he might get the call soon because the Mets have been atrocious.
There was that fake. Someone said he was called up, and I quote tweeted it, and he didn't.
No, yeah, he did not. I didn't see that he got called up. And if that happened, that's new. But he did get the call to AAA this last week.
So that's what it was.
Yeah, he went. Yeah, well, he went up to AAA. He was awesome though. He had like over 500 at AAA this last week, and he had 3 extra base hits with 2 triples and 6 steals.
Yeah, so I totally fell for this. I guess it doesn't look like I did, but I thought this said promoted to the Mets, and I said tons of speed. So I guess I didn't give away that I was fooled, but here it is. Like I definitely thought I wouldn't have said anything about that if I realized it was a AAA. But yeah, AJ Ewing. Guy I knew about, one of the speedier guys. And I know about him because he's first on the alphabetical list of players. So I always click him when I'm testing stuff. So there you go.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're an A.J. The A dot really throws you in the front of the line there. Yeah. But I think there's going to be more power. You see on the F scores a 91 power. I think he can get to more power. I kind of compared him to Jarren Duran before, where I was like, I think he can grow into more because his exit velocities were getting much better. So like 108.7 max, 103.6 90th. Those are all pretty solid numbers. 90.6 average. Like those numbers could relate to like a 20 homer guy in his peak. So what do you think? You think there's more power? Because right now, like 0 home runs. Well, I guess what does he have? 1 home run on the year, I think. And then he had last year only 2 or something like that. But I think there's going to be
5.
some more power there as he ages.
Yeah, 5 homers in 2024 in 71 games, 3 in 2025, 2 in 2026. And he's a smaller guy. So what are the chances that power grows as he moves up levels? But
well, 5'10", 160. Smaller guy. He's bigger than you, right?
A little bit. Yeah. An inch and 10 pounds he's got on me.
Yeah.
I don't have her power.
117 extra, or actually now a 118 extra base hit plus. So, at least he's getting to doubles, and the speed can turn those doubles into triples. So that's the good thing about AJ Ewing here.
Or maybe he's turning weak hit singles into doubles because you get, it might not. The extra base hit plus counts a double. It's a double no matter what it was. It doesn't zoom in on the well hit ones or anything like that. But doubles, whatever, that could work in the majors too. So, AJ Ewing.
Barrel rate is also pretty high for a guy who's not hitting home runs. 17% barrel rate for a non-home run guy is pretty solid.
Yeah. There you
All right.
go.
Yep. So that's number 10, AJ Ewing, AAA for the Mets. Number 9, Caden Kent going across the city to the Yankees, the Bronx Bombers. We got Caden Kent spelled the right way. That's how I spell my
This
son's
is-
name.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna make fun of the name, but I should back off now.
No, bro. Yeah, that's how I spell my son's name. Kaeden. Caden
Such
Kent.
a millennial parent name, Caden. Every kid in my son's kindergarten, their name ends with in Slee. It's like Billings. It's not Billingsley. Chad Billingsley. Shout out to him. But like all the, you can just tell that a kid is, I guess, although his parents wouldn't be millennials, so never mind. This guy's already 20 years old, but
I name my children a lot based on like genealogy. So Caden is a Celtic name, and I am like 1/3 Irish, so maybe a little more than that. So that is a Celtic name, Caden.
Okay.
But anywho, this guy was drafted out of Texas A&M last year. So 2025 draftee, had a pretty bad debut for the Yankees last year, but showing some nice stuff so far. You see he's 6'2", 200 pounds. So nice big frame here. I comped him to Jeff McNeil because he has a really good hit tool, good plate approach. But he's bigger. So maybe he can get into more power than Jeff McNeil ever did throughout his career. I got him currently he's a top 300 prospect. But Caden Kent, over 80% contact rates, 82% contact rate almost this year. Only an 11% strikeout rate, 8% walk rate. So really good contact skills. A 108 hit tool on the F scores, 109 discipline for a second baseman / shortstop. I think he ultimately ends up at second, but good hit, plate skill guy, could be a really good points league player. Probably will be a better real life and points leagues player than a fantasy player. Like I said, like a Jeff McNeil, where it's like if you're in a 12 team where Jeff McNeil is like hardly owned, but if you're in like a 15 or 20 team league, or like Jeff McNeil is a baller in those types of leagues, or if you're in a points league, because that's a guy who's going to get on base, he's going to collect a lot of hits. So I think that's the type of guy he can be, but he's big, 6'2", 200 as a second baseman. He could maybe get into like 15 to 20 homer power. He's only had a max EV of 107 this year, but he has a pretty big frame. So, one can think based on the frame that he may be able to grow into more. And he also has 7 steals this year too. So showing some things on the base pass. So not a dead guy in speed. Even though I gave him a 50 out of 45, he's like not the fastest guy. He's a good base runner. So he could run into like 10 or 15 bags in a season.
How can you not be a good base runner and be a professional baseball player? Isn't that something you should be able to learn, figure that out?
There are a lot of bad base runners in the MLB.
Seems like just something you just like pay attention to and learn, and you should be able to do it if you're going to be a professional baseball player. But
I think that comes down to the question of like training versus tools, right? Like,
yeah.
Are you like the guy who made it because your dad was a high school coach and you grew up learning about all the way.
Oh my God, you didn't cut enough tree down, Tim.
Man, I only have a 20-foot ladder. I did what I could.
You're back now.
Sorry,
we can't lose you on this one.
I had good internet all weekend until
I've got nothing. I've got nothing to fill in here with, so you got to stay.
I'm right here. I'm good. I had no internet problems until right now all weekend. So after I cut those trees down, so that's a shame. I thought
Video
I got
streaming. Yeah, the high quality video might be taxing your connection, but
yeah, maybe. Come on, no internet issues all weekend. Okay, number 8 is David Davalillo with the Rangers. There are a lot of L's in this name.
I have this guy in our Dynasty League. He was one of my picks in Dynasty League, so I need him.
Yeah, well, F scores have always really liked him, and he led the minors in ERA in 2024 and was like a top 5 guy, I think, in 2025. So this guy's really good, kind of like maybe the next Parker Messick, where maybe he doesn't get a ton of Ks, but he is just really hard for hitters to square up. So he's always going to be good in the WHIP and ERA categories. But yeah, this guy had a really good game. 10 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 3 hits, 0 runs. And it should be noted that he has a 444 BABIP against this year. So even the damage that he has given up on the season should be taken with a grain of salt. There he is. Smaller dude, 6'1", 175 pounds here for Davalillo, but he's got a fastball that he throws mid 90s, a two seamer, or as you like to call it, a sinker, because you don't like two seamers.
Yes.
I gave him a 50 out of 50 on the two seamer. I think it's better than the four seamer, which I threw a 45 out of 50 on. He's got a cutter too, 55 out of 55. So 3 fastballs here. Then he's got a sweeper, 50 out of 55 on the sweeper, a curve, a 50 out of 55, and a splitter. I give him a 50 out of 60 on the splitter. This is my favorite of his pitches. But this guy's 6 pitches, and he has immaculate, if I can speak, command. A 60 out of 65 grade on the command. Really good command for him. He was almost a top 100 prospect for me, John. 108. So probably going to be a top 100 prospect next time when I update around like Memorial Day or whatever. That's usually my first update. So really good pitcher here for David Davalillo, kind of underrated here. But 10Ks, you like to see a 10K start from any guy.
Yeah, and he's in AA. Is this the Rangers are probably in the Pacific Coast League situation where maybe they skip guys. I don't know their tendencies, but he's 23. Rangers with a decent rotation, a really good home park factor. Possible we could see a call up for him. What was the innings last year? 107. So that's in the range. Seems like maybe we could see him sooner than later.
Yeah, you know, the Rangers are kind of weird. We haven't seen a lot of homegrown guys lately with them. There's Jack Leiter, of course, but he took longer than expected, and Kumar Rocker's been kind of a fail. So yeah, I don't really know. We don't have a lot of a track record to see like how they're going to move him because they've been pretty bad at developing pitchers lately. So it'll be interesting to see because they also traded the one guy, Alejandro Rosario, who I was really excited about that they had.
Yeah, he's second in the organization in strikeout rate, 33 and a third. That's 1/3, 33.333 repeating, of course. Do you know about the Leroy Jenkins video?
No, what's that?
Never mind. If you don't know, some people out here will know. It's a one of the classic YouTube videos of all time from the golden era of YouTube, and I'm not even going to get into it. I went through it in the notes, and the people that get it will have laughed, and the people that don't won't know what I'm talking about. We're going to leave it at that. But Davalillo putting the L in Davalillo. It's a lot of L's.
Yes, completely over my head on that one. All right, number 7 is Herrick, which is I've never heard of a person named Herrick before.
Yeah,
like I saw that name, I'm like, is this like Heretic Hernandez?
Yeah,
Herrick Hernandez with the Braves. No, double A, another short pitcher, 5'10", 205 pounds, lefty. This is the Mason Peters of this podcast. So Herrick Hernandez's parents, please contact us and let us know where you found this name. Were you just like Rick? Were you filling out the birth certificate and you were putting the name and you're like you wanted to name him Rick and you just put Rick, like that's his name. Gonna be Rick.
I would guess he's not American, Tim. I would guess it's not the same calculation for Hernandez. They're not.
Like instead of writing she, they put he. Like it was a he, she, male, female, and then they just put Rick, and then they just accidentally combined it at the hospital.
Yeah. Maybe they did they wanted to name him first. They wanted to name him Rick, like you said, but they wanted to get the pronoun in there to make sure people know. Just like get it out of the way. Don't have to put it in your email signature if you just put it right in the beginning of your name. Like, hey, this is a boy. So I was trying to figure out where he was born. Let's say he went to high school in Florida, so it might be
Yeah, he's a Miami kid. I think he went to Miami-Dade Community College and then went to the U for a year for Rick Hernandez. So, that would totally be a Miami thing where someone was just like, Rick. That's the name, Rick, right? Nope. That's a only in Dade type thing. So it could happen.
If we hear from this guy's parents, it's probably going to be negative with how we're talking. So
no, come on. Hey, I lived in Miami for like 10 years. You gotta love me here. So anyway, Herrick Hernandez, depending on how Espanol you want.
Gotta be Herrick. Stick with Herrick.
Was a 4th rounder out of Miami in 2024, and last season a lot of walks, 15% walk rate, 13.3% K minus walk rate. So he has pretty good stuff. This year, again, a 14% walk rate, but almost a 34% K rate. and an 18.4% whiff rate. So this guy has good stuff, but the command is pretty far off. There he is. Look at him. He's a shorty. I comped him to a mini Carlos Rodon. Look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't he look like a little mini Carlos Rodon with the Carlos Rodon's got the major dad bod thing going now. He's got a little pouch. But
speaking of dad bods, look at that guy in the stands.
Oh, he's and that hitter that just struck out. So Hernandez, anyway, let's talk about the actual pitches. This guy throws a fastball with 20 inches of vert, 93 to 97 miles an hour is the spread. So mid-90s fastball at a 5'11" release point, low release point with 20 inches of vert is pretty solid fastball. And then he also has a really nice sweeper, 82 to 85 mile per hour sweeper. I threw 60 out of 60 on that sweeper. And then he's got a curve. I only threw a 40 on the curve. Not a big fan of it. And then a splitter, which I think has some potential. Apparently, it's a newer pitch for him, the splitter. But I think it could be a 45 pitch. So I threw a 40 out of 45 on that splitter. Command, only a 30 out of 35. Like, this guy definitely needs to work on his command. The way he's pitching right now, he looks like total reliever, short guy with a killer 1-2 punch, and then the kind of like a third and fourth pitch with bad command. So it kind of looks like a little reliever type, but he's balling right now. Really nice start this last week with 9 strikeouts, 0 walks, 1 hit in 7 innings. So he does have durability for a short guy. So he can go deep. It's just, can he like not walk guys like he did today? Or is it, like maybe that's the start of something, or is it a one-off?
Yeah, it was his first start without a walk, and he had 2, 3, or 4 in every other one. So AA.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, AA for the Braves could be like, he could be up tomorrow. The Braves move guys pretty fast here. Rick Hernandez. All right, best friends with Diddy Fuentes. Yeah, number 6, Ethan Salas with the Padres, catcher, been around forever. Can you believe he's only 19, John?
I can, because we talked about him in the winter, but otherwise I wouldn't have believed.
Okay, yeah. Well, he's only 19 still in AA, and he's kind of balling out right now. So last week he had 4 extra base hits, 3 homers, 2 steals, and then he had 2 home runs the 2 games before the last week too. So if you combine the Saturday and Sunday, whatever before, he had 5 homers over that time period. But not only is he hitting home runs, but he has an 82% contact rate so far this year.
Yeah, look at that. We got a home run rate from, I guess we didn't see much of him in 2025, but 111 games in 2024 for Salas, 0.9 home runs per plate appearance. That's up to 5.7% in 22 games. And that would that wouldn't have been super hard to predict, maybe not to that extent, right? But this is kind of the power year, 19, 20, 21 years old. You add on to that, and that was somewhat expected. So
yeah, it's nice to see him be healthy, and actually like we're getting stuff out of him, because last year he basically missed the whole year. But F scores are liking him. He's been a riser, man. He has a 170 age-adjusted WRC plus right now as a 19-year-old in AA with what he's doing. So he's completely balling out. That's like top 20 prospect stuff when you have that kind of rate. So he's probably going to be a big-time mover in the rankings. I had him top 200, so he didn't even make my top 150 as an injured guy. But he's almost definitely going to be a top 150, if not, probably a top 100 guy moving up here into the next rankings update. But yeah, I threw 50 out of 55 on the hit, 45 out of 60 on the plate approach, 45 out of 55 on the power, and a 50 out of 45 on the speed from a guy who is known for defense. The reason that he was called up so fast through these levels is because he is like a potential Gold Glove defensive guy. So comp from is lefty only Adley Rutschman for Ethan Salas. I like him a lot, especially points leagues. He's going to be a baller. So Ethan Salas is a dude again. So watch out for that.
Yeah, definitely someone you've been hearing about, but we're still probably next year, right? Next year for the arrival. Maybe.
Yeah, probably with the Padres.
Yeah.
This is probably a guy that they don't trade. Like one guy that they actually do not trade.
Yeah, they haven't had a good catcher in a really long time. Can't even think of been a different dude there all the time. They like try different veteran guys, and maybe that's the way to go, but they might have something here. Ethan Salas.
Yep, Ethan Salas. All right, number 5 is Mike Sirota with the Dodgers. So Mike Sirota, really strong week. He's been on fire. Talk about fire. He was hurt at the end of last season, coming back pretty strong this year. So
here we go. Come back.
I am going to. Yes, I know the tree. I'm going to jump to my hotspot right now.
All right, you do that. Let me see what I can do here. Mike Sirota, Dodgers outfield prospect. Again, we talked about this last week with someone else. It's going to be pretty tough for Mike Sirota to ever. I mean, whatever. If you hit and you're the future guy, the Dodgers still, no matter, you got unlimited money, whatever, you still would like the young stud that you don't have to pay very much. And so they're probably looking for some guys. Cal Tucker, 3-year deal. Andy Paz, Teoscar Hernandez. Paz, I guess, is pretty safe, but Teoscar, how much longer could he have? I don't think he's on I don't know about his contract, but Sirota at 22, 123 power, 116 discipline. I think those are kind of the two you want to see most. The durability is a little bit of a concern, but not as much with the young guy. So, if you had to take two of these F scores to really look at, if you're claiming prospects and stuff, I'd like a guy with discipline and power, and that's kind of what you get from Sirota here. He's up in high A.
Teoscar signed through 2027, by the way. So he has 1 year left. But Sirota is a guy that the Dodgers really like. Apparently, when they traded for him from the Reds, they wanted to draft him really bad. And then they were like mad that the Reds picked him first. So they traded for him. So this is probably a guy that will actually move up in the org. I would like to see him in Double-A soon. He's 22, college guy. So you would think he would, especially after last week, 4-homer week, 6 extra base hits and 2 steals. And it was all like righty on righty too. He didn't even get a face a lefty.
Yeah, he's got a 1.16 OPS. That'll get you moved up.
Yeah, should get moved up soon. Like I mean, like the problem is that the Dodgers have like a full outfield at Double-A of guys. It's like even their minors are like so loaded that they don't even have room. So they could probably like Quintero's been pretty bad. Maybe they could swap Sirota and Quintero.
You think they could trade these guys, but they don't have a need in the major leagues to fill. Like they're just going to sit on it. Maybe a closer.
Yeah,
I think Diaz will be back though.
Yeah, I just think the fact that they traded for Sirota means that they really, really like him. And if they're going to move someone, like that would probably be the guy that they would move. Just makes sense to me. But anyway, Sirota is really good. 45 out of 50 hit, 60-65 plate approach, 55-65 power, 45-55 speed. So I think he can actually run more if he wants to, but he's almost hitting too many extra base hits to run. So that can be a problem sometimes. A good problem to have. Number 4 on the T10 is Robbie Snelling. This is the first repeat, John. I said I'm going to try not to repeat, but he was so freaking good that I had to do it. He threw a no-hitter, man. Really? He didn't pitch the whole. He didn't pitch the whole game, but he had 9 strikeouts with 1 walk and no hits. His last time out, and Chris Paddock gave up 6 runs yesterday in the first inning.
That's terrible.
Yes. So, I guess the question is going to be, okay, so that was in 5 innings, no hitter. So the question is going to be, are they going to promote Snelling or are they going to promote Braxton Garrett, I think, to take that spot? Because, are you really going to keep running Paddock out there? Like, Jansen Junk has been good, but Paddock, you gotta get him out of there.
Yeah, that's really, I guess you could say there's only one spot. I'm going to pull up the Reds or the Marlins pitching stats here in the majors. Paddock's obvious. He shouldn't make another start.
And Meyer, Sandy.
Meyer's been great. Uri's been good. Uri's not gone anywhere, obviously. He hasn't been great, but it's Uri.
Jansen Junk has been really good. That's a guy that they're going to keep and then trade at the deadline. So it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense that they would trade Jansen Junk at the deadline, and then that would be like the Thomas White spot, in my opinion. But it all kind of depends on
Junk's got a 16% K rate. He's just been super lucky, it would seem. Maybe he's got the junk that generates soft contact or something like that. But you're right. It would make sense for them to ride that out as long as they can. But if he totally falls apart in May, which I think is somewhat likely. But yeah, Braxton Garrett has been unbelievable in AAA too, and he's got the I would guess they're both on the 40 man, but Garrett's kind of earned a job for years, and then he had that injury, and he's got a 1.71 ERA, 0.68 WHIP, and I think he's throwing with more velocity. So still a good point. Like, if someone's going to take Paddock's spot, I would guess this week. Is it Snelling or is it Garrett? I'd add Snelling right now just to take a shot at it. Maybe it's him.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably bet Garrett. Like, if I had to put odds on it, I'd probably say it's like a 70% shot. It's Garrett and 30% Snelling.
Yeah.
So, like, if I had to bet on it, that's who I would bet, just because he's been there before. He's older. Like, I don't even know, is he actually optioned right now to AAA, or is he on one of those rehab minor league things where you only get 45 days or whatever? So
yeah,
like, what is?
Yeah,
like,
it probably would be Garrett.
What's up with that? So
here's the AAA and Major League pitching stats combined. Snelling clearing everybody: 40% K rate, 26% K minus walk. Thomas White just as good, if not better, with the walk rate being way down. Thomas White's going to be a longer term thing, we believe, but you can see there with Garrett, just right there. So there you go. I think we spelled it out well. Like, might not be Snelling, but if he gets up there, he's a must add.
Yeah, Snelling's awesome. Sweet fastball, curve, changeup, slider combo. Like, really good pitches, really good command. He's really got he's got the whole package to be a really good number 2 starter, which is good. I don't think he's going to be an ace, but I think he's going to be a really good number 2. And when you already have Yuri, that's awesome. So I expect Snelling to be like a top 40 guy for a long time once he's up. Number 3, this is a Doc guy, Joseph Sullivan with the Astros, AA. This is another dude who should be moving up soon. It's kind of weird because we talked about how his F scores went down.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this in my article. So if, make sure you sign up for MLB Data Warehouse and check out the article. But I feel like this is just a meeting of his back of the baseball card stats to the underlying metrics, basically, where like the underlying metrics might be going down, but that's also at the same time his actual stats are better than they were last year. So it's just kind of like things meshing together. But last week he had 5 extra base hits, 3 homers, 2 steals, doing a bit of everything. He hit 375, which is like insane for him because usually he's hitting like 200. But 79% contact rate is a big thing for Joseph Sullivan. So contact rates are up this year for Sullivan, and the Astros outfield is kind of weak. So it would not surprise me if Joseph Sullivan is a starting outfielder for the Astros by the end of the season.
Yeah. Another guy I have in the Dynasty League. I drafted him because of the F scores and power, speed. Looks good. I'm glad that he's here because you scared me last week when we did the F score changes pod. He was a negative, but looks like he bounced back a little bit. A lot of skill.
Yeah, and Snelling too is one of your guys. This is just your pot. This is John's team podcast.
Snelling's already in my starting lineup because I didn't before I even traded Lugo to you, I didn't have a full rotation, which isn't a big deal. Like, not many teams in that league do, but Snelling is ready to go. I already promoted him. So
yeah, ready to roll. Number 2 on the T10 and this guy just hit another home run too, so that wasn't even counting into these stats. It's Lazaro Montes with the Mariners, AA. He's still really young too. He's still a baby. I think he's still 20. Let me check that out real quick. I don't even think he's 21 yet. But he's been, he's 21. 22. So he's in AA, 6'5", 210 pounds. So he's a big boy. But Laz Montes, he maybe weighs more than that. A lot of people like to comp him to Jordan, but he doesn't have the hit tool of Jordan. So like, that's kind of like an unfair comp. I think it's more of like a Matt Olson type profile than a Jordan profile is what I would call it, because he's going to strike out more and he's not going to hit for 280 batting averages. Probably going to be more like a 240 guy. Maybe he does get to 40 homers, but probably more like a 240 guy. But Montes hit 6 home runs last week, 6 extra base hits with 5 bombs last week, and hit another home run on Sunday. So called 6 bombs. And one of those home runs, John, he hit 118 miles an hour. So nice. Kid can mash. You see, he's a big boy. There he is, big lefty. 106.3 90th EV on the season last year. So really good EVs for a young kid who has definitely been playing above age to level. 159 age adjusted WRC plus for Montes, a 150 extra base hit plus, So tons of extra base hits, tons of power here for Lazaro Montes with the Seattle Mariners. On the hitting grades, I give him a 30 out of 40 on the hit, 40 out of 45 on the plate approach, 65 out of 70 on the power, 35 out of 30 on the speed. See, like a Yordan would be like a 60 hit tool. So like that's the difference is like these people calling him baby Yordan. It's not really fair to him. The hit tool is not the same.
He looks like him. Is Yordan number 22? Is like Yordan number 22?
I don't know. Is he? Yeah, I mean, he could copy him. Maybe he's his favorite player or something.
44. So. He's half of
half Yordan. There
he went half Yordan. Baby Yordan.
Yeah, baby half Yordan. There you go. Lazaro Montes with the Seattle Mariners. And number 1, this is a guy that most people probably have never heard of. It's middle infielder John Peck with the Tigers. So John Peck, I think he's going to be a second baseman, not a shortstop. But F scores are kind of meh. 95 power, 105 hit, 88 discipline, 111 speed. The reason his hit tool is that good is not because of contact rates, because he's like a 70% contact rate guy. It's because he gets to really good angles and has for a couple of years. 31% K rate. So that is not good. But he does get to angles. A lot of line drives. So tons of line drives with this guy. But last week, 8 extra base hits, 4 home runs, 3 steals. That is John Peck with the Tigers in Double-A. But really strong week for him. Like you gotta bump a guy who has 8 extra base hits, 4 bombs, and 3 steals in a week. That's just a really good week. But he does get to 110 EVs, so there is some power here. I just don't think the hit tool is that good. The plate approach is really, really bad. So he kind of reminds me, this is the comp I threw on him, of Zach Galoff. He actually has like a very similar swing also to Zach Galoff. So watching video of the two, it's like literally they have like the same swing. So maybe he sees a guy who's probably going to get hot and go on these hot stretches just like Galoff, and then get cold and just be bad and strike out all the time. So I think that's what you're going to get with him. Probably will make the majors. John Peck, but a 30 out of 40 on the hit is what I gave him. A 25 out of 30 on the plate approach. So really bad plate approach. Like literally 2% walk, 31% K rate. Pretty bad. But 40 out of 45 on the power. 55 speed. So
we're so close.
The hot spot is coming in.
Damn it,
Come
Tim.
on.
We're so close to finishing this number 1. I have a cousin named John Peck who's not a baseball player, but I was like, wait. So this is number one John Peck. Like, my cousin's doing stuff, but it's pretty normal. But you said this is your number 1 guy of the week, and he's not going to make the majors. That's what you said. I guess you're just looking at last week.
Oh yeah, he had a really good week. I got to give him props. And I said he could make the majors. He's probably just a utility guy. He's gonna be Zach Galoff. He's gonna come up. He's gonna get hot. People are gonna fall in love with him, and everyone's gonna be adding him, and then he's gonna be terrible.
All right. Well,
like that?
I was gonna say that. Yeah, I was gonna say that we probably get a good chance for a parent shout out here, but then you said he's gonna be terrible, so probably ruin that. But
well, I mean, if you strike out 31% of the time and only walk 2% of the time, there's not a lot of hope.
Okay, Mr. Peck, tell your son to calm it down, take a couple walks, and get that strikeout rate under control. The homers can. A 6% home run rate is elite and great, but you can calm that back down to 3% with 6 extra points of strikeout rate. Let's get that together, and we'll get you up here in the majors, and we'll take we'll take a little bit of a cut of his future earnings for hyping him up here at number 1.
Yeah, here's the thing: do the Brandon Nimmo thing where you mix in like blue balls into the machine, and then you just don't swing at the blue balls no matter what. That's, by the way, I don't know if you know that. That's how Brandon Nimmo trained as like a kid, is that his parents would put blue balls in the hitting machine, and the rule is like do not swing at the blue balls. So you had to just watch for the color, and then you would know not to swing. And that's how they were training his eye, by doing that.
That'd be pretty easy for an adult to do. I think I could. That's a good one for a kid, but I think he would succeed at that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. That's the podcast. So running back through it, number 1, John Peck with the Tigers, Double-A. Number 2, Lazaro Montes with the Mariners, Double-A. Number 3, Joseph Sullivan with the Astros, Double-A. Number 4, Robbie Snelling with the Marlins, starting pitcher, Triple-A. Number 5, Mike Sirota, outfielder with the Dodgers, High A. Number 6, catcher Ethan Salas with the Padres, Double-A. Number 7, Herrick Hernandez, pitcher with the Braves, Double-A. Number 8, David Davalillo, Double-A, Rangers, a lot of Double-A. Number 9, Caden Kent, High A with the Yankees. And number 10, AJ Ewing, Triple-A with the Mets. We have 5 more write-ups if you subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse for Boston Bateman with the Orioles, Bryce Eldridge just called up with the Giants. There's a good tease. Number 13, Junior Sanchez with the Diamondbacks. 14, Yowlin Cespedes with the Red Sox, middle infielder. And number 15, Cade Anderson. Another repeat, but he didn't make the top 10, only top 15 for Cade Anderson. So I'm not counting that. But he was also a baller. Again, Cade Anderson has basically like been untouchable since he's been drafted. So probably in the majors pretty soon for Cade Anderson if someone gets hurt. But obviously, like Emerson Hancock is the number 5 for the Mariners right now. So it's like
14 strikeouts, Tim. You gotta eat a bag on that one. 14
no,
strikeouts.
I'm not gonna eat it until he plays a team the second time because I'm telling you, it's all deception. It's all arm slot.
Shifting the goalposts.
The movement on the pitches is not great. He's not getting a ton of swing and strike on that stuff. It's all deception. It's gonna come back and get it.
No, it's not. You're so afraid of Emerson Hancock's breakout, which I predicted, and then I dropped him. I dropped him for Chase Tolander last week. I let you freaking get into me. I don't know. Terrible decision last week. Maybe it'll work out, but that's it. T10, 15, and then a whole long list of other guys not detailed in the article. Article comes out Monday mornings if it's on schedule, but it is great work. A lot of work. Tim puts a lot of work into it, and you can learn a whole lot as I have. But even if you're even up to date on the prospect stuff, like he's throwing in dudes here that you need to know about every week. So MLBDataWarehouse.com to follow Tim. A lot of action on X as well throughout the week, and we're monitoring everything. So thanks to Tim. You can take us out of here.
Yep, that's the podcast. Junior Sanchez didn't even start. 10 strikeouts, didn't even start. So that's the kind of action you get from me. I watched that whole outing from him too. So watching tape here. But anyway,
Hancock needed to start to get his 14 strikeouts. What a loser. He actually had to pitch in the first inning, That's weak.
Yeah, it's terrible. But I guess I should also note that I saw Gage Wood this weekend, and he was really, really good. So as advertised, Gage Wood with the Phillies. He should not be an A-ball. He needs to move up. So that's it. That's the podcast. Peace out, everybody. See you next time.
Big Data Warehouse. Yeah, we bring the spree. Prospects, DFS, betting strategy. John's grumpy, Tim scouted like a man possessed. Doc drafting comeback stories better than the rest. But the tools are elite and the content's free. And your fantasy trophy gonna look prestigious. ML.